Hello, friends. Welcome in. Hope you're all having a good one. Tuesday, isn't it? My name is Pixelriffs. Welcome to a Minecraft live stream. A survival guide live stream. It is Choppin' Tuesday, which is the day we chop wood or other things. Probably other things today, actually. And drink tea and chat. What's the time here? 3 p.m. Usually go live around 3. Oh, well, 3:08 currently. And we're just going to be hanging out and chopping some stuff. Yeah, get those chop emotes going. Heck yes. Tuesday. It is Choppin' Tuesday. Bingo blackout? Not today. I think we're probably going to give bingo a rest for today. We don't want to overdo the bingo. Will I be building a windmill soon? I don't know if I'm going to do a windmill this time. I am expecting that this season's builds are going to deviate from the previous ones. So the old windmill is still there if you want it. Why do I stream an hour late? An hour late from what? It's 3 p.m. I don't understand the question. Ah, lovely. Hello from 1 hour in the future. Do people change their clocks at this time of the year? Or are we just talking about, like, Central European Standard Time here? We're on GMT in the UK right now. Love the crop video, never knew the rotation mechanic. It's funny, because a lot of people on the first episode that I did farms, which was like episode 2 of the series, were like, why aren't you growing crops in rows? And I was like, because I don't have more than just wheat right now. But, you know, now that we have all of the crops, it's actually possible to demonstrate that stuff. And obviously fortune and stuff is really useful. And we got a hype train going already. MP Steel, thank you for the 11 months. Milkdud Bouquet with the 300 bits. Hunter with the 1,000. And Anastasia V, thank you so much for 33 months of Tier 1 support. Appreciate you very much. Thank you, thank you. Anyone who wants to hop on the hype train, you can subscribe. Use your hard-earned cash to subscribe to the channel. You can use a Twitch Prime sub. They're free if you have a Amazon Prime account linked to your Twitch account. You can cheer some bits. You can gift some subs if you're feeling generous, or you can resub if you've got one handy. All goes to supporting the channel, of course, helping the streams keep going. And I've been enjoying myself doing these behind-the-scenes streams for survival guides, so we're going to obviously step back into that today. I've just finished recording the video I'm going to upload tomorrow, yes. So, 123, a viral 123 I have. Tomorrow's episode is, spoiler alert, going to be about cobblestone generators, which is why I have so many buckets in my inventory, including one that's filled with lava. But they're all tucked away in the kind of quarry behind the house now, so we're not going to see too much of them. And instead we're going to be going and harvesting some cobblestone out there in the world, because I want to do a bit more caving. I've uncovered a couple more caves that I'm also kind of interested in seeing if they lead anywhere fun. But I'm going to do a little bit of, like, shallow caving, I think, today, and look for some redstone, because I need a lot of redstone for some of the stuff that we're doing. I've just spent a lot of it on observers, pistons, and the like for some of the farms that we're building here. And it's always nice to have a big supply of redstone for later in the season when we get into more complicated stuff. Am I planning any builds? Yeah, so one of the things I want to do as well, if we have the time, is to start decorating the sugarcane farm a bit more. Because I started on this facade, I mocked up a fun little designing creative that's not going to conceal the entire thing in a build, but it's just going to look a little bit nicer than having this open, like, sugarcane field. We're going to put light sources in here. I was thinking about putting some gold blocks in the front of this because they go really nicely with all of the green. The mossy cobblestone kind of gives that elven look if you got like green and gold combined, you know? That kind of Lord of the Ringsy kind of vibe. When mass mob farm? Long time from now. I don't expect we'll get into mass mob farming until I have Elytra. Main reason being, it's a lot easier to build a farm like that if you can fly up to it, because it's going to be 128 blocks in the sky or similar. Or you can AFK that high up if you want to, but either way. I'm probably going to repair my fortune pickaxe, because it now has efficiency. So I'm going to grab a couple of diamonds here. Make another diamond pickaxe and repair that. Problem is I need XP for that, and I don't think I have enough levels to just... Yeah, I need 5. Okay, fair enough. In that case, I might be able to get that from furnaces in here before we head out anywhere. Because I was... There we go. I was smelting up some iron that we got from the last couple of caving trips. So that's all good. Captain Chris Versus, thanks so much for the 2 months. Gonna chop with you in my own world. Awesome stuff. Chop along. You love to hear that. Let's see. There we go. Full repair on the fortune pick. We'll get mending when we do villagers. I'm pretty much committed to going and doing villagers next week, so we'll get mending then. But right now we're just going to be rolling with Fortune 3. And I'm going to put this lava bucket away, first and foremost. We're probably going to grab some more wood so we can do a decent caving run. We'll look for coal, we'll look for redstone. We'll have a good time. Do we need much else? I need a bucket of water, but that's about it. I will grab a bit more food. We'll go with pork chop instead of steak today, in case we're stuck down there for a little longer than we plan. But, yeah, I think we'll go and fortune some coal. I don't think it's going to thunder. Watches it immediately thunders. And, yeah, the wood is what we need. Smite 5 or Sharp 5 on an axe better? Either. Personal preference. Up to you. With Smite 5, you can one-shot a zombie pigman without a crit, so that's kind of nice. People like doing that. Let's bring some spruce. Let's bring half a stack of spruce, I think. And we'll leave the birch planks in here, so now we've got a decent amount of woods. And I think we'll actually go to... I found a cave behind the house. Basically down here, so you can get a quick look at the smooth stone generator, cobblestone generator. Using a pretty old-fashioned redstone clock for that, but I thought it was best to start with the basics. And so down here, I heard some zombie noise, so I dug down a little bit, found this little cave system. Lo and behold, massive ravine here. So we're going to maybe explore a little bit of that, and over in this direction, we have all this going on. So I was thinking we'll grab a bit of stone from around here. We'll get all of the coal that we come across, because I would love to have a nice big supply of coal for future endeavors. And we'll probably tidy things up as we go, so we can grab some cobblestone as well. Smooth stone, by which I mean regular stone, yes. Natural stone. I try and call it natural stone as much as possible in the videos. I will just occasionally slip up, because in the parlance of the day, this used to be called smooth stone because you made smooth stone slabs out of it. But then once smooth stone got separated into like its own block, because you can smelt natural stone to get smooth stone, everyone kept calling it smooth stone because that's just what they knew. And I'm no exception to that. So, bonus points for being patient with me. And I think the same is true of anybody who still calls stained clay instead of terracotta, or you know, insists on referring to things by certain names. Oh, this is a nice little flat low cave. You love to see these. I like the ones that you can walk around in but still feel a little bit atmospheric, you know? Like stuff like this where it's like it's all one block ceilings, I'm not the biggest fan of. Enjoying the new survival guide as much as the first. Glad to hear it, because obviously the first was the thing that made my channel successful in the beginning. So I'm really glad to hear that people are enjoying this one as much. And today's video was very well received as well. Like, it's gotten the YouTube... On the YouTube dashboard, it basically tells you when a video is performing based on, like, your average views and compared to all of the other videos you've released recently. Today's video was #1 on the list. Like, it was automatically a hit, basically, and that's good because it means those are the types of videos YouTube will promote. If a video is doing well, YouTube will start sending it out to recommend it to more people. So it's amazing that the support has been big enough that YouTube thinks it is worth chucking a few more viewers in my direction. And I have you to thank for that, so thank you all if you watched today's video. And if you haven't, it'll be up there once we're done here. I got confetti. I did, yeah. It does little, like, fireworks and confetti and stuff when that happens. Thank you to everyone who contributed to the little hype train that was going on there. California Moon, thank you for the 6 months. Milked Bouquet with the 400 bits. Valkovinia, thank you so much for the 2 months. And Leafy Kayla with the brand new tier 1 sub to the channel. Enjoy your emotes and your sub badge. Welcome to the Pixels. Happy to have you on board. So we've got a little bit of copper here and a granite. Deposit. I don't think this is going to be a huge vein because the copper is all clumped together instead of being in streaks. But, you know, we'll grab a bit of copper every so often. I'm probably going to leave most of the granite for now because I've got loads of that from digging out the huge vein that we found the other day. But I might grab some more andesite. hollow out some areas like this, maybe. There was a video today, didn't pop up for you. Well, it should be there, youtube.com/pixelriffs. I tend to go, with all my subscriptions, I tend to go to youtube.com/feed/subscriptions. That's like the YouTube I have bookmarked, because the homepage always throws up stuff that's just like recommendations and whatnot. But if you're subscribed to people and you want their videos to show up, I think the subscriptions feed is still the best way of getting hold of that juicy content. So this is a nice, large, open area right here. Oh, looks quite fancy. It's so funny seeing these caves and how much you notice the granite, the diorite, and everything else, compared to going in deep slate caves now and just seeing deep slate tuff all around you, you know? It's really interesting, the difference to me. Whoa! That's looking cool! Hello! I like this place a lot. We've got a bit more copper up here, of course. And there might be a few more little dugouts, little side tunnels, things like that. Worth exploring. Will I make a copper farm this season? Define copper farm. Do you mean one of the ones with the drowned, like, reinforcements and whatnot? Because we're going to be making a drowned farm eventually for trident farming and stuff like that. And I might make a copper farm for the like, zombie spawner-based one. But honestly, you get so much copper just from going mining with Fortune, finding a huge vein. The copper drops have been increased, and cut copper is much less expensive now because you can get 4 blocks of cut copper out of a single block of regular copper. I don't think you need one of those drowned reinforcement-based copper farms anymore, as long as you have the patience to go mining for it. If you're the kind of person who wants to automate everything, then by all means make one. And we might cover it in the series just because it's a mechanic that exists in the game and it would be worth it. But, like, I don't know if you need to do it at all. Painful Hydra with the 6 months, half a year. Keep up the good content. Thank you, I will. And ICRO, thank you so much for the brand new Prime sub to the channel. Enjoy your emotes and your sub badge. Welcome to the Pixels. I mentioned before that I hope to have a build project in every biome over the series. Does that include cave biomes? Cave biomes might be one of the earliest ones we do. Because, like, obviously the caves are such an important feature of this update, and in future, other biomes are likely to be updated separately from this update. Like, obviously, a lot of terrain changes have happened in this update, but we've also got things like a swamp update coming for 1.19 for the wild update, so that's potentially going to be the time to go and make a swamp base, so that we can play around with frogs and whatnot. And birch forests might actually get an update at some stage as well, if they weren't just using those as like a way of illustrating the concept of the wild update in general. So we might end up getting an update to birch forests, which might mean moving out of the birch forest we have here at spawn and looking for another one somewhere else in the world that has some of the new changes. But yeah, I think cave biomes are really going to be worth exploring. Like, I know the kind of environment I would like to have in a cave base, and I haven't found it yet, but I'll know it when I see it. I talked a little bit more about this on the Spawn Chunks podcast yesterday, so that episode is up on YouTube now. It's also up on any kind of podcatcher that you use. I want a cave base that's got a lush cave nearby and has an abandoned mineshaft hanging from the ceiling, like one of those, what I've been calling jungle gyms, basically. Where the whole structure of the mineshaft is suspended from the ceiling. Always looks so cool to me. Like an area like this that's just got a mineshaft in the middle. I love those. So I'm hoping that we'll end up finding something like that as we explore the world. But then again, I'm happy to start building in some other cave biomes as well. I just think large caverns like that are so epic looking. Stuff like this, basically, is just always so fun looking to build a base in. What's the best level to mine redstone? I'm pretty sure it's the same as diamond. It's like as far down in the world as possible, or like around -48 or something, right? But like the further down in the world you go, the more you get diamonds, the more you get redstone, basically. So we're not necessarily looking for redstone. Oh, it did turn into a thunderstorm, might be. We're not going to get the redstone, like, right here, but we are going to go looking for redstone a little bit later. I like having a bunch of coal to begin with. And there's huge cave down here. Oh! This is all relatively close to my base as well, but if you don't dig in the right direction, half the time you don't find really awesome-looking stuff like this. And that pillar with, like, the cave generation running through it, that's wild. Yeah, sorry if that was kind of loud. I can turn the weather down. I currently have it on 10%, but we'll turn it down to, like, 3, and hopefully the thunder isn't going to be as shocking as all that. No pun intended. Do I feel there are less diamonds that can be found for 118? No, absolutely not. You just go caving. Like, go caving, you'll find them. It might be harder to spot them, and deep slate caves might be a little harder to navigate, but I don't think there are fewer diamonds. This way? Where do we go? How did I get here, please? Because it's not this way. Down here? Ah, down here. Okay, fair enough. Yes. Maybe we'll keep the, since I named this stream Redstone Rumble, maybe we'll keep the, thunderstorm in the background. Kind of makes sense, right? Will lightning burn above ground structures while I'm underground? Yes. Absolutely it will. Luckily I have a lightning rod installed on my house, so that should cover the surrounding radius. The worst it might do is oxidize or clean up the roof of my, fishing shack, which I'd prefer if it didn't. Surge Protector achievement? Need villagers for that. Don't have villagers yet. Do I think the caves in 118 are too big? No. I think there are all kinds of caves, and you can find those caves that are right for you. No such thing as too big or too small. It's all about perspective. The cool thing about Minecraft is because the worlds are so big, virtually infinite, in fact, that if you don't like something, you can go somewhere else. Making a villager video soon. It's going to be next week. Next week is going to concentrate on villagers basically the whole time. Yeah, I had to sleep the storm away. For reasons. Although, some people spotted this. If you follow me on Twitter the other day, I posted this. I can show you something very cool about the fisherman's house. Stage 3, baby!
Well, that's
we're starting to get the good stuff. I think this stage of copper is probably my least favorite. When you look at large areas of it like this, it's just like, it's kind of a gross color. I don't like it as much. So I'm excited to get to weathered and oxidized copper so we can have the stuff that I really like the look of. Around this side, oh, we got one there as well. That one wasn't there when I logged in today. So that's good. And yeah, it goes with granite pretty well. It can go with like jungle wood and things like that. There's definitely stuff to pair it with. It's just not what I wanted for that house. It's the puke copper. It's pronounced puce. Let's throw a bunch of this stuff in here for now. I've started to organize the decorative stone types in here for the moment. And we have so much copper. Oh my goodness. We mined like 3 copper ore while I was down there. More than 3. You know what I mean. And we end up with so much copper. ridiculous. All right, now we got a decent amount of coal. I don't really have a place to store coal other than in the furnaces up here, but we'll bring a stack with us and we'll leave a few stacks behind, and that will at least be good for now. I guess I could store it as blocks as well, but hey. We'll throw that in there. And yeah, I'm keeping the ender chest kind of full for the moment. We can take some of these things out. And like the food and stuff. But, yeah, I want to keep this stuff in my ender chests, largely just to show, like, hey, I've been doing some caving on these streams at some stage. So we'll open out a little bit of space there so that we can, keep that in there, and I can mention that on camera at some stage. Have I found any fossils so far? No, but I haven't been looking in swamps or deserts. I haven't even found a swamp or a desert, actually. I've not really been exploring to find specific biomes, so I have not yet found a swamp or a desert. We'll get there, eventually. Like, I was listing off the stuff that I haven't found in this world yet, and the list got so long that I was like, I need to turn this into a to-do list. We need to start finding some of this stuff. So yeah, we will eventually end up going looking for those specific, like, biomes and structures and things like that. I got very lucky in finding a fossil when I first explored the desert in the original survival guide world. I don't know if I'm going to be able to call the shot again, you know? Did your own sugarcane farm recently in a swamp with the with the minecart underneath? I make that mistake too. I always type Minecraft when I mean to type minecart. Nicely decorated into the environment. That's cool. I like the stuff that gets, like, integrated in. That's always a really satisfying feeling to build something that looks like it's part of the landscape. Can you tell Endermen have been here, by the way? It's always really clear when there's been Enderman griefing, because there's just random dirt blocks and gravel in caves. Little busy collectors that they are. Hello. Waiting to stave his head in with the pickaxe. Hello, skeletons. Deal with you in a second. How's the anthill? Same as it was when you last saw it. Haven't logged into Empires at all since 1.18 came out. What am I mining for? Something specific? Coal and redstone today. Also cobblestone, because I have a cobblestone generator now, but generating cobblestone is kind of boring. Like, it's more fun running around here grabbing cobblestone from cleaning up the mess I leave behind me in caves. And I used up so much cobblestone building the sugarcane farm, because it's all pistons and observers and stuff that you're like, I'm not going to use much cobblestone on this, and then you need to craft 40 of them. Which is, you know, 6 per observer, 4 per piston. It takes, like, a decent amount of resources. This is a nice little cave system. This goes on for a while. Oh, Enderman's left me a stepping stone. I have sharpness on my sword now as well, so I can actually deal some damage to stuff like creepers. Which is good, because there's a lot of them around. Seriously. The random occasional dirt blocks is so funny. Hello? There's the stuff that we want. I wonder what the new meta is going to be for preserving ores. Because there are people who like to collect the ore blocks. Like me, I like to collect emerald ore because it's rare. And you can get the product of emerald ore a lot easier another way. I wonder if people are going to be collecting, like, stone diamond ore and deep slate gold and deep slate copper and all of that kind of stuff. Like, what the priorities are going to be for save one type of ore and fortune the other type, you know? I expect most people aren't going to worry about it, but the folks like me who are just like, excited by the blocks themselves. Like, is stone gold going to be worth keeping? Probably not. You'll find it in mesa biomes. Deep slate coal is now the rarest. Yeah. I mean, that and deep slate emerald, because you only get it in mountain biomes, but proportionally speaking, there's a lot of emerald in mountains now. You don't just get veins of one so much anymore. Wow, loads of glow squid in that lake. I also have knockback 2 on this sword, so creepers are much less of a problem at this stage. Skeletons are worse. Get back. Crits. And then place a torch, because it's real dark in here. C-Dubs, thank you for the 5 months. Sad to see the Patreon go away. Some support on streams coming your way. Thank you very much. It means a lot. Yeah, I have, for folks who don't follow me on Twitter and haven't seen the announcement, I've closed down my Patreon as of the last few days of December so that patrons wouldn't be charged for January. If you are an existing Patreon and you do find yourself getting charged for anything, please do let me know, because you can probably contact Patreon and have that refunded, but I think it just suspends everybody's payment information at that point, and I don't know if it will cancel pledges, because there might be some people who, like, unpublish their page for a while and then come back 6 months later after they've had a sabbatical or whatever. I don't plan on doing that. So I recommend checking your existing pledges if you had one and making sure they're cancelled. I had a good run on Patreon. I found it a very, very good platform for setting up interactions between creators and fans. It just got to the point where it wasn't manageable for me to continue making the videos that I was making and also spend the time managing a Patreon community by myself. And while I could have, you know, got moderators, and that would have involved the slightly iffy consideration of people doing work for me for free, or paying them and then them being employees, which opens up a whole other barrel of worms, I figured it was probably just a good idea to realize that I wasn't going to be able to provide what I wanted to provide anymore, and what I've been providing to my patrons for the last sort of few years, basically. And sunset the Patreon, because thankfully I'm lucky enough that I have other revenue sources in YouTube, Twitch, the Hermitcraft recap included, the podcast, stuff like that, that I can continue to make a living elsewhere. But the podcast for the Spawn Chunks, the Patreon for the Spawn Chunks is still active, and I'll still be part of that community in the capacity that I was before. It's just making life a little bit easier for me. And hopefully not taking advantage of my community's goodwill. Have I got the lower shield pack on? No, I don't. No, this is still full, unmodified vanilla 1.18. No Optifine, no resource packs yet, nothing like that. And I will end up using resource packs sooner or later, but I don't want to enable them in the meantime, because then I'd have to explain why things look different from video to video, and that involves, in my case, making a whole episode about resource packs and what they do, which is coming at some point, but is not my priority right now. Spawn Chunks is probably the best long-form Minecraft media out there. Everyone should listen and or join the Patreon. Thank you so much. And yeah, it depends entirely what your preferences are. If you're the kind of person who wants to have some kind of, like, rambly Minecraft discussion happening while you're mining in your own worlds. I've heard of a lot of people who will just stick the podcast on whilst they go caving or whatever, and it can be quite fun to hear from people who do that. So many skeletons down here. I mean, all kinds of mobs, really, but I noticed the skeletons because they're the biggest problem. Always pains you to see a zombie villager get murdered. It's fine. They're 5% of all zombie spawns. We'll get another one. I'm also not at the stage yet where I'm ready to cure zombie villagers, because we haven't even found a naturally spawned village. And some people may never find a naturally spawned village and decide to start by curing zombie villagers and make their own village, but I always think it's best to discuss the ways that we find stuff naturally in the world before finding, like, the renewable stuff and the way we make our own things. There are very few exceptions to that. I think bone blocks might be one of the few exceptions, although you find them in soul sand valleys too, so it's not just fossils, I guess. Do I have any tips for finding a nether fortress? I have a whole video about tips for finding a nether fortress. You can go to my YouTube channel and ignore the fact that I found my nether fortress very easily. There are some tips later on in that video, which will go into how I would expect to find a nether fortress if I hadn't found mine like 5 blocks away from my nether portal, which was incredibly lucky. Will I reduce my video uploads in January? I mean, it's January now, and do you see it happening? If anything, I'm going to be uploading more consistently this year than I did last year. One thing I do need on this sword that I don't have yet is looting. We have Sharpness 4, Unbreaking 3, Knockback 2, and Sweeping Edge. But we don't have looting yet. Can you eat sugarcane? Nope. You can't even eat sugar. Sentinel Guard, thank you for the 4 months of Prime. Rakuta, thank you for the 26 months as well. Hope you're good. Really appreciate the continued support. Man, this cave system is a warren, and I love it. What have we got down here? The next rabbit hole. Ooh, bit of deep slate copper. Deep slate copper is such a pretty block. I always think it's a very, very attractive block. If you love it so much, then why don't you marry it? So that's, yeah, almost enough to start turning the redstone dust into blocks. Do you ever need to use clocks? Typically no. Like, I don't find myself wanting to use clocks all that much. But I can definitely see the interest for people who want to make, like, cave bases but still understand what time it is on the surface. The thing I find funniest about clocks is that you can just look at one in the crafting interface and it will tell you what time it is. You don't actually need to craft one ever. But you can put them up for decoration and stuff. They're a nice thing to have on a wall. Alright, redstone blocks, coal blocks, lapis blocks. I'll probably throw out the rotten flesh and the spider eyes because we can farm those at the spawners now. 8 planks, 16 sticks, 64 torches. Alright, we'll throw you, we'll throw you. What point in the game do I think I'm going to be at by summer? We'll probably have beaten the Ender Dragon. We'll be working on larger scale farms like Guardian farms and what have you for resources like Prismarine. I mean, by summer, potentially, we're going to be looking at, is the Wild update coming out? How do we prepare for that? Assuming that they keep the release schedule that they have in previous years with, you know, an update coming out in winter and then another update in summer. If this was in hard difficulty, these skeletons would be bullseyeing me right now. For the folks who are newer to the stream and haven't seen the YouTube series, I play on normal for right now because it's the default experience of Minecraft. It's the difficulty it gives you when you load up the world for the first time with default settings. We are going to be switching to hard when we talk about zombie villagers, though. So next week, probably from Friday onwards,
that's just
we're probably going to be in hard difficulty. As of right now, though, we're playing in normal. Still 2019 in my mind. Yeah, I've had to consciously make effort to say 2022 whenever I think about the date. Because, yeah, I'm definitely the kind of person who's, like, the first 3 months of the year, I'm still writing 2021 on, like, forms and stuff. Not that I have much occasion to write out forms, but, like, in the show notes for the podcast, for example, we need to update that so it says 2022, otherwise the intro is just going to be us correcting ourselves from 2021 over and over again. Their tracking improves with harder difficulty. One of the things I have learned since we've started making Survival Guide Season 2, people pointed out that some difficulty stuff like that does actually improve AI of certain mobs. Skeletons are the main thing. They have an error ratio that decreases with higher difficulty. So, like, skeletons will miss more on easy and much less on hard. How can you trap glow squid if you want to build a glow squid pool for decoration? You need to name tag them because otherwise they will probably despawn, assuming they use the same mechanics that regular squid do. Because, yeah, squid despawn to basically free up the aquatic mob cap elsewhere in the world. They're one of the only passive mobs that despawns when you get further away. Because obviously cows and stuff don't. So you'll need name tags to make sure the squids are persistent. I don't think you can put squids on leads in Java. You can in Bedrock. So it's possible to lead squids around. You can trap them in minecarts, and minecart rails can go underwater now, so that might be an option for you. Obviously, powering the rails is going to require a redstone power source that isn't destroyed by water. So like redstone blocks instead of levers or redstone torches. Should be doable, though. Well, you can put regular squid on leads in Java? I don't believe so. Unless that's changed recently, but I think I tried it a while back and I couldn't do it. You can lead squids in Java, it says? Okay, interesting. Maybe that's changed recently then, because I seem to recall last time I tried it I couldn't. But I don't remember when that was. Oh. Now you're talking. Bit more redstone down here. Overlapping mineshaft generation still. Interesting. I do like a deep slate mineshaft. They've got some good aesthetics going on. Chat, which one do you prefer? Do you like the oak mineshaft or do you like the dark oak ones that you find in Badlands biomes? Because for me, I think the classic mineshaft, the classic like oak beam mineshaft looks better. The dark oak ones obviously look good in Badlands biomes, but I do think the oak in general feels a little bit more mineshafty. It's kind of weird as well, because, like, where do you get that dark oak from? I don't typically find dark oak forests near mesas all that much. You hit your knees. Why is a spruce mine shaft not a thing? I don't know, man. I feel like they only needed one type of mine shaft until they decided to introduce them to Badlands biomes. Dark oak looks nice. Oak is my preferred mine shaft look. Yeah. They should randomize the woods across the biomes. Imagine a acacia mine shaft. That should be enough. I think at this stage... Ooh. I'm probably going to avoid breaking too many cobwebs, and I want to make sure... Again, this is such a weird thing that I'm running into a lot with this series, but I want to make sure that I introduce concepts like, hey, you can shear cobwebs in an episode before I reveal that I have like 3 stacks of cobwebs somewhere. So I'm probably not going to make the shears now, but I'm probably going to leave the cobwebs alone and avoid corridors where I'd have to break cobwebs. Because they're quite nice to have as decoration. Can do like a Halloween build at some point or something. Just the 1 diamond that time. Let's get all of this put away. Not going to bother with raw gold blocks because we don't have that much gold right now. Torches back there. We'll put the coal away since we still have half a stack. The raw gold can go in there. We'll start maybe gathering that if we get a bit more of it. I'm not mining too much gold lately, though. I don't really need a whole lot of gold yet. By the time we need a whole lot of gold, we'll be thinking about farming the stuff anyway. On Bedrock, a cobweb can be broken down in a crafting table into 9 string. Wow, Bedrock. Save the good crafting recipes for the rest of us, maybe. 9 string? That's a lot. They're basically like string resource blocks at that point. Not even wool. This still goes down even further, my gosh. Let's grab this. Oh, go on, I'll get the gold as well. Twist my arm. And then let's see what's inside chest number 1. Oh, look at you. Incredible. All right. Well, that's something to discuss in an upcoming episode then. I almost don't want to take it. We have to, though. Should we eat it? Get rid of the evidence? No, it's on camera now. We've done it. Anastasia, thank you for the 1,000 bits. Didn't know Gapple tax was a thing. I'll have to explore mine shafts more often. Heck yeah, thank you so much. The Snot Otter, thank you for the 10 months of Prime as well. Yeah, shout out to people who leave fake donation messages in chat. Thank you, Ginger. Taking out the trash. Put a clip from Twitch into the video. I might do. The problem is now, like, I had this problem before with the old survival guide videos because I'd stream at 720p and then I'd upload videos in 1080p because back then my computer couldn't always handle streaming at 1080 and I wasn't partnered, so I didn't get the transcode all the time, so I wasn't able to always stream at like high enough resolution that if I inserted a clip into the video, it would be the same scale. And so half the time you either upscale the video, which doesn't look as good, or you put it like as a picture-in-picture kind of thing. And now I have the same problem because I can stream in 1080p, but now I upload videos in 4K. So my 1080p stream clip is going to look small. But then again, 1080p is hopefully decent enough quality that it looks alright in the video. We'll see. BJ gifting a sub. Thank you so much. BJ making his return to Minecraft according to Twitter. Very exciting time. Obviously you were in Don't Die, so that was kind of the prelude to it. But yeah, glad to hear it, man. Do I use OBS or Streamlabs OBS to record? Neither. I use a program called Marilis Action, which is paid-for software, but is pretty decent at what it does. It's not quite as customizable as OBS, doesn't have all the kind of whatever you'd call them, like user-facing properties and options and that kind of stuff, but that means it's a little bit less complicated to use. And thankfully I'm running a computer that I can just put all of the settings on max and hit go, and it works really well. Hey, Mr. Beardstone in the house as well. Good to see you, buddy. Guess I've been here already then? Yeah, okay. Are there any other directions we haven't really been in this mine shaft? I guess so. Aha! Sorry, let me do this the proper way. Aha! There it is. Only 5 diamonds, though. And we're using stacks upon stacks of torches, just exploring this place. Does anyone else feel weird now they've taken out the dirt room? Like, it's nice that you can see resources in the floor and stuff, but, like, the room's not doing anything else. I felt like the dirt room was an interesting location if you wanted to start a farm down here or something, you know? It's like you just hit a massive patch of tillable blocks. It's kind of a useful thing for tricky survival situations, but maybe they've got some plans for it further down the line. We'll see. Oh, suspended rail. It's such an ominous room. They need to do something with the dirt room like what Cub showed. I never ended up watching that video of Cub's. Well, we're getting plenty of redstone from this, which is good news. Is there something about piles of ore? Sounds like a good idea if it was one. Because I guess, like, it's a big enough room that that might be central to the mineshaft idea, right? And if people have been using this mineshaft to actually mine things, then it makes sense there'd be a central point where they were leaving it all. So that sounds like a solid idea. Yeah, I've been that way already. How many times have I died on this world? None! I am still deathless. Not that I'm worried about that at this stage. It's not a hardcore world or anything, and as with the previous series, if I die, I can end up making an interesting video about that. But I do kind of prefer staying alive, keeping my levels. Yeah, if we go to the stats right now, and don't worry, this pauses the game, so that zombie's not going to hit me. Number of deaths, 0. Plants potted, 9. I love that those two are so close to each other. They seem equally important, you know? The secret to not dying in 1.18 caves is to keep moving so that when the creepers inevitably drop down, they drop down a few blocks behind you instead of directly on top of you. I see you, villain. Alright, now we're back to there. Cool. We're sort of coming back around to where we entered this place. Plants are very important, yes. Haha! Stuck in the cobwebs. Cobweb stuck, fool! Zombie reinforcements everywhere. Yeah, plenty of directions we haven't explored yet down here. Probably some more cave spiders as well. In fact, thinking about cave spiders, I think on Thursday's stream we might actually be doing a fair amount of the behind-the-scenes work on the cave spider spawners in that lush cave abandoned mineshaft that we found. Gotta open out the whole place and make sure that the spider spawners are within activation range of each other. And then there'll probably be enough room in the video for me to do a bunch of the work in between clips. So that's what we might end up doing on Thursday's stream. Oh, nice little deposit of deep slate redstone. And not much else going on down here. Although does continue that way a little bit. Let's double back after we reach whatever's at the end of here, because there's a bit more grub to grab. Oh wait, no, it opens out. Okay. This is the problem, right? Like, my previous strategies whenever I'd go caving, wow, would be to cave until I got to the end of something, lighting everything up as I went, and then I'd double back. I follow the torches all the way, everything's lit up, I don't have to worry about mob spawns, and I can collect all of the resources without stuff sneaking up on me. Now I can't do that, because the caves all lead to other caves. So let's go back through here for now, because there was a massive amount of redstone and I want it all. One of my favorite games outside of Minecraft? Lately I've been replaying a bunch of Celeste. I've been playing it on Switch and PC, whichever I'm nearest at the time, but if I want to just, like, chill out and play something for a while and it's not Minecraft, which sometimes I actually need to avoid making off-camera progress for YouTube videos, Celeste is a really fun game that's, like, just chill enough, thanks to the soundtrack being so good, but also the kind of thing that I can really get stuck into and I have to stay, like, engaged with the game. It's such a good game. So, highly recommend Celeste if you've not played it. Soundtrack by Lena Rain, who did the Caves and Cliffs Minecraft soundtrack as well. So we've got a bit of a connection there. Let's throw the golden apple in there for the minute. Don't really want to be losing that if we fall in lava down here. Although I'd be more upset about the tools and everything than I would be about the loot, to be honest. But the golden apple is maybe a rare exception. This is why I don't like doing too much caving off camera, but then again, this isn't off camera, it's on camera, it's just in a different environment than YouTube. Do I like Skyrim? I have never played Skyrim. I'm one of the 3 people left on the planet who has never played Skyrim. I recently asked on Twitter if there's a version of Skyrim that I should buy if I was interested in playing it, because I am. But the other thing I have to recognize is that if I... Hello? If I end up playing too many other games, like off camera, no chests, alright, fine. If I end up playing too many other games... There's 2 baby zombies down here somewhere. Then that ends up with me, like, developing habits where I don't want to play Minecraft anymore. Or rather that I end up devoting more of my time than I should to playing other games, and it either means I end up being kind of unfocused when it comes to recording Minecraft stuff. Am I getting further away from them or towards them? There's a zombie villager, so I'm not certain this is a spawner, but there sounds like a lot of zombie noises coming from over here. I can't tell if it's above or below. But yeah, like, I want to play Skyrim at some stage, I just don't know when I'm going to have the time to do it, because you need to devote a few hours at a time to playing that game, really. Yeah, if we end up with a double zombie spawner, that'd be amazing. That's why I'm trying to find it. I need to backtrack to over here where the noise was still kind of strongest. Alright. We're back out into the lower regions of stone layers, which is what's making me think it's not a spawner, because I'm not hearing more zombies than I was when I started looking for this. The other zombies are over here, though. That's the one we found, okay. Has this spawner generated zombies on the other side of a wall, or is it something else? No, they're further away, they're up. They're not down, they're up. Do XP orbs ever despawn? Yes, they do. They despawn, like, pretty quickly, too. Okay, that's those 3 zombies. This seems like a dark cave, not a zombie spawner environment, but... figure we'd take a look around. Nah, doesn't look like another spawner. Shame. And once again, we need more torches. This is why I need a near constant supply of coal when I'm down here. Once again, the Endermen have been up to their usual tricks. Finding the source of sounds in Minecraft is so painful. It's only slightly easier with the subtitles, but even then, it's like... up or down is the difficult one. I think it'd also be easier... Oh, there's a geode there. It'd also be easier if I had my headphones on, but since I like playing with speakers, the stereo field is a little bit more central, you know? How to get rid of the fear of playing Minecraft? Playing peaceful for a while. Get used to the mechanics, get used to attacking stuff with the swords. Start on easy difficulty once you start playing regular survival. Don't just jump straight to hardcore mode, because if you're not built for it, then you don't have to play that way. The headphones only help slightly. Yeah, I know, with like spatial audio with like vertical stuff, it's way more difficult. Like, it's amazing that the human ear works the way it does and can tell you whether a sound is coming from above or below you, but with game audio, it's a little bit more difficult than that. Because it has to be projected at you by some sort of sound equipment that's usually just stereo. That's cool. You love to see that. There's a whole bunch of ores just in the same place here. We got lapis over there. Lapis there, gold there, copper there, diamond and redstone there, gold there. How do you not get bored of Minecraft? It's easy. Minecraft has tons of stuff to do. So you just do stuff in Minecraft. I know it's not that easy, but honestly, if you try and explore a little bit more of what this game has to offer, you get a lot more out of it. Like, if all you want to do is run around and find diamonds, then you're going to get bored of the game pretty quickly. But if you start trying to mess with other mechanics of the game, if you get invested in building, if you find that you have a real enjoyment of redstone, then those are the kind of things that can keep you occupied for ages. When it comes to exploring and combat, I feel like this game doesn't have as much to offer as a lot of other games do. Like, if you're more into the combat experience of a game, then you want to be playing something like League of Legends, or, you know, something that involves active strategy, like Apex, Fortnite, that kind of stuff. That's the stuff that's going to keep you on your toes. But with Minecraft, it's about creativity, and it's about player-led creativity. So if you don't have creative ideas in this game, it can often feel a little bit stifling as an environment. But it's about setting your own objectives. You can use the advancements if you want to. Like, that's a good way to... Sorry, my escape key just escaped again. It's about finding your own objectives whilst also dealing with the ones that the game has prepared for you. Just one diamond again. There's another spawner over here, though. I don't think it's close enough to that other spawner, and it's spiders. Dang. What I'm eternally hoping for is a skeleton spawner. Because I know I covered how to farm bone meal. Regular golden apple this time. But, yeah, it is kind of helpful to have a bone meal source in the form of a skeleton spawner. Double skeleton spawner would just be like a dream come true. It'd be an absolute treat if we got that. But it seems unlikely at this stage. Silk touch, please. See, for a while it became easier to determine which one was the silk touch and which was the fortune, because the silk touch had more durability left on it. But now they've traded places. We'll take the gunpowder as well. Leave the rest of it for now. But yeah, honestly, like, wherever we end up finding a skeleton spawner, whether it's a single or a double skeleton spawner, we'll end up setting it up. But it's going to be about how frequently we can visit that area, right? Like, if we end up building a base somewhere else, then we might find other spawners around there. We might end up making a bone meal farm with moss instead of relying on skeletons for that. You know, there's other bits and pieces. We'll always find other stuff that we can do. When am I planning to defeat the Ender Dragon? Whenever I feel like it, really. I don't have an agenda for that yet. I have so many ideas for stuff to do in this world that might be easier once we've beaten the Ender Dragon, because we're going to have, like, shulker boxes and stuff, but I really don't need to beat the Ender Dragon for some of those ideas to happen. And, like, I'm not just going to go and arbitrarily fight the dragon as something to do. Like, I'm going to do it at a time when it feels significant to the series and the world. But for right now, I don't have a set plan for it. What does a readable colors do? In the Twitch options, it changes people's names so that they are colors which are compatible with both dark mode and light mode. Because you can choose what color your name appears in Twitch chat, and sometimes it means they aren't super readable for people who use dark mode chat versus light mode chat. It's a personal preference thing. When Iron Farms? Iron Farms probably going to be after next week's episodes, because we're all going to be... We're going to go and find a village. We're going to do a bunch of episodes about villager professions and trading and the basic mechanics of that stuff. But since we've been doing farms this week and we'll be doing villagers next week, the natural kind of collision of those two fields is going to be an iron farm. And then I want to time out a certain amount of time for the output of the iron farm, and then go and start mining out a huge vein of iron underground and see which one gives you more iron. May as well grab some of the gold while we're down here. Been making some powered rails recently. Nothing much down here. You found an iron vein nearby? Yeah, I know where one is. I managed to locate one when we were caving on... Was it Sunday's stream? Or was it the one before that? Was it Thursday? I forget. But we went caving, we found one relatively close by. It's in the area of caves that I was exploring on camera in a more recent video. This is what I like to call a creeper convention. When you can see more than 5 or 6 creepers all in the same place, it's like CreeperCon 2022 has assembled early. Anyway, we kind of lost sight of what we were planning on doing here, which was... Aside from getting redstone, I also need a bunch of cobblestone. It's just fun exploring these caves. I get lost in these caves for hours. Also, how weird is it that all of this comes from one lava source? Uh-oh. I don't think I've even seen a witch in the main series on YouTube. We've obviously not been to a swamp, so we haven't found a witch hut. But I don't think I ran into a witch in a cave anywhere either. Which, once again, is another sign that I should probably do more caving on camera. But what do we even talk about when we're going caving? What else are we going to see this week? Tomorrow's going to be cobblestone generators. Thursday is probably going to be bees. I did want to do an episode this week about melons and pumpkin farms, and so we might save bees for next, or like the week after next, because by that point we'll have done villagers and like an iron farm and then bees, and like I want to give the fishing hut roof a little bit more time to fully oxidize, because then we can talk about honeycomb being useful for wax, and then we can do candles, and like there's so much stuff in this game. Like it's it's very difficult trying to plan the trajectory of the series and what I'm going to do next and what's coming up when the first few episodes are basically always the same, right?
Well,
you have
that's
like
just prime.
you get your first tools, you get up to like iron, you start finding diamonds, and then the game is just like whew. it broadens to the point where like who knows what you do next, right? It's just a matter of picking something and doing it. I'm slightly worried about occasionally starting a topic and then realizing I haven't introduced most of the mechanics that we're using to like farm honeycomb from bees or whatever, right? I don't want to automate too much stuff straight away, but also it makes a lot of sense farming bees in an automated fashion instead of doing that stuff manually. So it's a good thing that we've started introducing some basic redstone stuff first, but yeah, man, there's a lot to do. There's a lot to do. Bedrock equals witches and slimes, right? So this area we went through here initially. We're kind of back to where I was the first time through. I love these caves so much. How often do I get completely lost in caves? More than you tend to see on camera, because I tend to cut those bits out. But yeah, the caves in this update are... There it is. Much easier to get lost in. I have a couple of tricks that I use for navigation, but a lot of it is now just navigating by landmarks in those larger caves. I mean, torches on the left is the main one, right? That's the most useful thing. So I've been using just the default resource pack, no changes, not even Optifine. And it's so weird getting used to glass being outlined, like the individual blocks being so visible like that. That every time I see glass blocks now, I think I've left hitboxes on from something, or I've like accidentally hit F3 and B. Because the white lines are just so, I don't know, so linear to me. I thought I'd end up looking at the hitboxes of all of the cows and sheep and stuff that were in the pen. Raisins Grape On, thank you so much for those 5 gifted subs and the tier 1 subs. Soulflame, thank you for the 4 months. Chip Chiller, thank you for the Prime sub. And Woodlouse Pie, thank you for the Prime sub as well. The glass change was your favorite texture change. It's good. Like, it's good that the glass pane is clearer. Like, it's less streaky. And I think for windows like this, it looks good because it looks like the window innately has some, like, framing to it. But then for larger things or for stuff that's made out of glass, if you want to make a fish tank, for example, or like the glass that we have on the interior of the sugarcane farm, I find this the more annoying aspect of glass. And so I'm so torn between keeping the vanilla texture and keeping stuff like this, where I think that window looks better for being glass with like frames in it, and then switching to Optifine and getting on with connected textures, and then having connected textures for stuff like bookshelves as well, which doesn't really matter to me one way or the other, but it happens. I don't use Optifine for anything else except shaders though. How much has the sugarcane farm made? I should check that. I haven't looked. And I've been making a whole episode about cobblestone generators, during which it must have been working in the background. So we have 49 in that chest, 2 stacks in that chest. I have a feeling that one of these minecart rails hasn't been wired up properly, or I just don't have a hopper minecart on it.
Well, that's just...
Lexi Weekly, thank you for the Prime sub. Appreciate that very much. Thank you, thank you. So I'm going to throw all of this stuff in a chest. Got tons of gold in here now. And then stone types can go in here. Refill all of the deep slate. There we go. Decorative stone in here. Andesite. I don't know where I'm going to put gravel. I think gravel's already in here. There we go. Mob drops. All of these. These can go in. Transport. We have all the types of rail now after that detector rail. I don't know what I'm going to do with flint. Flint is in here with mob drops, even though it's not one. Put the lapis up by the enchanting setup. And we're more or less unpacked. So yeah, let me grab a trapdoor, and we'll check on the minecart, because I have a feeling I just didn't power the rail on one side. I definitely corrected one of them when I did this before. I don't think I corrected the other one. Redstone bits? Yeah, we've got a lever in there. We can use that. Will I do an episode about how the different types of rails work? Yeah, I can do that. They tend to get a little bit dry when I just explain redstone components to people, though. Like, the episodes aren't always that compelling. Yep. No, we didn't power that. Cool. Good. Cool and good. I knew I'd done that one of them. Hey, at least it's got 12 sugarcane. Just from this one plant. Imagine how much it could have got. Alright, we'll leave that on there. That should be fine. Always leave yourself maintenance access, chat. That's the lesson of this particular mistake. And I guess we need to put the redstone repeater back here. Set that to 3 ticks, and we're Gucci. The trapdoor was just in case I needed to, like, duck down and crawl, but I guess we could just open out the entirety of that. Realize you've been playing Minecraft for 7 years? Dude, me too! Congrats! Long may it continue. Employees only room, yeah, basically. Iron door, employees only sign. So yeah, we have, like, we would have got about 2 stacks from each side if I hadn't messed up the left-hand one. Probably more on the right-hand one, because the right-hand one has been running for longer. It was the first one that I set up. Can you fortune sugarcane? No. You cannot fortune anything that you could just, like, replant or put back down and then fortune a second time. Because then a sugarcane farm would basically just be you doing this. You'd be like sugarcane in one hand, fortune pick in the offhand, and just doing this over and over again. Like that's not a sugarcane farm. I still have the manual sugarcane over here because honestly I kind of like the look of it, and I don't know if I'm gonna get rid of it completely or what. But I want to figure out something else that can go there first. Like a tree or something. Is Empire's over? Not for me. Not for anybody else either, as far as I can tell. I'm just not making videos from it right now because 1.18 is out and I wanted to start off the survival guide. Can you fortune melons? Yes, you can. You get more melon slices out of them. But you can also silk touch melons to get the full fruit. So you can't fortune pumpkins, though. Hey, what's up, Vinka? And good afternoon, Mr. Badgerseth. Lovely to see you. Hope you're well. Silk touch is more worth it. It's worth it if you want to build with melons,
Well,
or if you want
that's
to
just
trade with them, I
fine.
guess. Fort Player, thank you so much for the Prime sub. It's just a shame you can't get Silk Touch on, like, pistons. So you can't automatically break things with Silk Touch. It doesn't work that way. Am I going to build in a mesa this time? I'm going to build in every biome eventually, is my plan for this world. And that really depends on the longevity of the series, of course, but, yeah, this foresty area is going to be... It's not going to have, like, a theme as such. It's going to be much more just like, this is my base, the center of my world. Because it's right by spawn, we're going to have a bunch of stuff that doesn't necessarily thematically make a whole lot of sense. But then, yeah, the plan is to build a base in every biome, including stuff like cave biomes, ocean biomes. We'll go and find a nice swamp somewhere in 119. Fleur Baby, thank you for the 22. Silk Touch TNT, that'd be the good stuff, the real stuff. Right. I think I want to just go and dig up a bunch of cobblestone. I think that's going to be the plan. Will I have a transform an ocean monument? Transform it into what? That's always my question, right? Like, I've cleared out ocean monuments before. I've turned them into guardian farms. Turn them into a base is a thing you can do, and like I've seen people do that very successfully. I don't know if that's always going to be my interest. With melon, you can fortune it and get more than... No, you can't get more than 9. That's the caveat there, is that melons will never give you more than 9 slices. I think the most they can give you with fortune is 7. Oh yeah, torches, they're a thing. Let's go find some coal, because you guys can't see right now. Some just over there. Hoop. This isn't so much a ravine as it is like a very gently or very steeply sloped cave. That's how it works in 117 or 118. Sorry, there's no ravines anymore. Everything is cave. It's a crag. Yeah, exactly. How aggro is it, though? Ooh. Cheeky lapis vein. Some of that not exposed to the air ores I've been talking about. You know what? We could also go dive mining. Grab a little bit of cheeky ore that way. I think that's the way you're going to find all of the ores that you're going to find less commonly. Like, any stone diamond is just going to be down there, not exposed to the air, but exposed to the water. I had this weird moment right then. I was looking at that opposite thing and thinking, yeah, I think I can make that jump, because I was thinking about jumping over there with a light trap. I'm glad I did not attempt to follow through with that one, that impulse. Oh wow, there's water freaking everywhere. This ravine is actually just like the dry part of a flooded cave, apparently. I was going to try and dig into the wall and then aggro that Enderman, but I'm like, do I need to? Do I need to do that? No, is the answer to that question. I don't. What would I say is the best way to find diamonds in 118? Personally, I prefer going caving, because the diamonds are just exposed to the surface that way, but you're only going to get 1 or 2 diamond ore from that, unless it's generated a little bit more under the surface. Theoretically speaking, the best way to get diamonds is to strip mine at the lowest possible coordinates of the world, but then you're mining through deep slate, and that's not especially fun. Even with a beacon, you're not going to be able to insta-mine it. So it's really down to what you prefer. because I don't think you're necessarily going to find diamonds faster. So I don't know if there really is a best way. Because you get lucky in a decent cave at low enough coordinates and you find diamonds on the floor every so often. We found, you know, half a dozen of them when we've just been exploring, not even really looking for diamonds. But sooner or later, all the exposed diamond ore is going to be harder and harder to find, and so at that stage, it's probably better if you start branch mining for it. Is there a way to remove the LAN option? There might be a mod for it, maybe, but not in vanilla, no. Basically, every Minecraft world is a multiplayer server waiting to happen. So the LAN option has to be there so that people could join you if they wanted to. Or, I mean, you could invite people to join if you wanted to, from running, like, the internal server in your PC. But yeah, there might be a way to mod that in, to, like, just remove the button, so that you're not tempted by the option of turning cheats on. But then, honestly, like, I find that whole concept a little weird. Like, the idea that you're just going to cheat if you can, like, just doesn't necessarily line up with my personal experience. Is fire tick off in this world? No, I left all of the options on the defaults when we created this world, so fire spread is on. The only reason I turned it off previously was because campfires didn't exist yet. And so to have something that looked like a fireplace in your world, you basically had to have a fire. And if you put any wood anywhere near that fire, it would all start to burn. But campfires allow you to make aesthetic fireplaces in Minecraft without having to worry about anything getting set on fire. Oh, the Enderman's made a little staircase for me. How nice. Out of these vivid grass blocks in the middle of this cave. What coordinates are we at right now? I'm wondering if we start mining cobblestone, if we mine it as close as possible to deep slate level, are we going to dig up ores from, like, the more rare varieties, right? Are we going to get any deep slate coal? Are we going to find some stone diamonds? I'm curious. Am I playing bingo today too? Probably not. I think we're going to give bingo a rest today. But then we'll probably return to it in future, because I do enjoy playing it. I do need to download the newest version of bingo that Noi9 sent to me in a DM after the last bingo game. So I haven't done that yet, and I don't usually like to just pause the stream while I download something and install it. It's just like all the technical nonsense is just not really worth pausing the stream for. I guess if we get down to about here, if I start digging down somewhere, we'll get to the approximate coordinates we need to be anyway. Unless it opens out into a big cave, which it might do because I'm hearing zombies. It's over this way. Hello, who is it? Oh, good. Another little Enderman dirt block. They're so active. Bless them. So about here is basically where we want to be, right? We're at Y6, okay. I'm going to start a little... immediately found some lapis. Good work. Going to start a little branch mine down here. We're at Y4. We'll take any of the resources that we find. But this basically gives us the highest chances to find either deep slate coal or stone diamond. Or stone ocean. Just took my pants off for no reason. There we go. When we're mining through this mix of deep slate and stone, this is the earliest possible place that deep slate ores can generate, like the highest coordinate and the lowest coordinate that stone ores will generate. Give or take the ones that occasionally spawn with patches of both. And we found some. That was easy. Silk touch these lads. Cheeky little 8 vein. Love to see it. Nom 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 nom. It's so hard to find diamonds in 1.18. That was honestly just solid fluke right there. Yeah, now for the deep slate coal, I guess. I mean, that is the silk touch one. Cool. Great, so that's 10 blocks of diamond ore I didn't have before. What is this game now? Wait a second. Always check, chat. Always check. Pro gamer. Esports, though. Should we, I'm thinking we maybe, keep going this way. Seems to be my lucky direction in Minecraft. West. No longer my lucky direction. You my lucky spider? Okay, we're just going to forget that ever happened and go the other way. How big can a diamond vein be in 118? I think they get as big as 8 or 9 still, but that is genuinely the first time I've found a vein of 8 diamond ore anywhere in this world. Oh, that's why I'm not going that way. What level are we at again? This is Y4. Not that it matters much, because that's not a place we are more likely to find diamonds. We just got lucky branch mining through an area that was going to have stone ore or potentially deep slate ore. Here's some coal that could be deep slate coal if it generated far enough down. But it did not. Goes to show that coal veins are still there at like Y7 or 8 or whatever that would be. Let's put these in here for the moment, since I've already got a stack of those going. Let's condense some of the lapis, because we've got loads of that in here, same with the redstone dust. Boy, I'm glad that I'm doing this on Twitch. This wasn't just an idle, like, off-camera mining run, where we happen to have stumbled into some pretty cool stuff. Then again, I wonder at the value of some of this stuff for the tutorial side of things. Like, is it going to mean anything to people to know that you can find some of this stuff? And what can I make a tutorial out of from, hey guys, I found some rare blocks, I guess. And the enchanted golden apple. Because those are obviously going to be interesting for people to find from just a general gameplay standpoint. You need them for 2 advancements, I think, and a banner pattern in the case of the golden apple. Skeleton. It's absolutely valuable. You love knowing there's a series I can reference that has pretty much everything. I mean, that's sort of what we're doing in this series anyway, is like... whenever people ask what the series is about, I'm like, it's about doing everything in Minecraft. I'm just trying to think of how I mix that in with an episode about anything else. Well, we're going under some zombies. Ah. Might be going through some zombies in a second. We've been here. There's a geode. I remember this. Wow, that's a lot of zombies, though. Safest place to be, in a puddle. Except from that skeleton, I guess. But then the skeleton's going to shoot a zombie in a minute. Maybe not. That one's holding deep slate. Zombie versus skeleton, fight of the century. The zombie comes out on top this time. Unusual outcome. Get back. Ankle biters. There we go. Smite sword who? So yeah, anyway, we came out of my lucky tunnel, whatever this was. Deep slate coal. We found it. It's right there, chat. Behind the skeleton. Creeper, no. Man, there's so many creepers as soon as I find the deep slate coal, of course. Okay, very, very carefully, like we're defusing a bomb. Silk touch pickaxe. We got it. 1 deep slate coal. 100,000 bits and I smelt it in a furnace. Since I heard you referring to them as ankle biters in Season 1 of Survival Guide, I don't use any other name for baby zombies anymore. I forget who I got that from. There was definitely somebody else who called them that. It might have been somebody from DV. Is it Page of Maces or somebody used to call them ankle biters? I forget. Let's throw some of this stuff away. We literally farm string now. How much is 100,000 bits? It's about like $1,000 US. I always say stuff like that so that people just don't get any ideas, you know? Like, it's entirely meant as a joke. Someone do it for science. Don't give me $1,000. Don't give any online creator $1,000 unless they're making something that's genuinely worth that. I'm not saying I'm not genuinely worth that, but smelting a piece of rare Minecraft ore is not worth that. Alright, I think we've used up all of our caving luck. So we're storing this one in a safe place, and we're going to do a little bit of building around the sugarcane farm, I think. Asa, sorry I missed the resub earlier. Thank you for the 15 months. So I don't know if I have room for this in my ender chest. It's like saying I'm spending my only gapple on a banner pattern. Banner pattern's worth it though. Yeah, decent haul. Decent haul, I think. And once again, having a bunch of cobblestone from mining for that stuff allows us to craft more redstone components when we need them. That's the important part. And we'll need to have like a bulk cobblestone storage chest somewhere eventually. Banners and carpets are criminally underrated when it comes to interior. They are. There's some cool stuff you can do with them. Right. Let's craft another stack of torches. Just so I have enough of that. We'll box up all this coal. Nice. I love when it always fits into a multiple of 9. It's always very, very satisfying to not have just one coal left over somewhere. Skelly Bowls with the $5. Been noticing you dislike my cousins. I guess that's fair. They don't like me either. You're the good one who plays the xylophone, though. When will I go netherite mining? We'll do an episode or two on the nether probably a little bit further down the line. Like, there's some basic stuff I want to do in the overworld before we even consider, like, going and getting the most OP gear in the game. Raisins, thank you so much for gifting a sub to a cycling athlete. That's something I would like to do more of in the year 2022 is cycling. Does lava burn things if enclosed in something like stone? Good question. I think it can still burn stuff even if it's not exposed to open air, but I think it's less likely or something. I don't know. I need to look up lava mechanics in more detail to really answer that one. That's something I would go to the Minecraft wiki for. So over here, what I actually want to do, and I know this is going to be controversial because people are like, why are you quote-unquote wasting resource blocks? But I like using resource blocks for decoration because sometimes you're just going to farm them later anyway. Trisha, thank you for gifting 5 subs. Very kind of you. One of them to Son of Thrain. There we go. We've got some Lord of the Rings fans in the chat. We're going to put some gold blocks in the farm, like so. I just think the gold and the green looks so good together. That and the dark oak wood all looks really nice together. Never forget my first ever house half burnt down. That's how I found out lava spread was a thing. Yep. Yeah, fire spread is lethal in many ways. So I want a little bit of birch, spruce. We'll get the dark oak from here. And regular oak. We need slabs and blocks of basically everything. We need to make some dark oak stairs. Slabs. And then we'll go to bed. There we go, job's done. Crafted some wood things. Time to go to bed. Wish the woodcutter was a thing. I know. A lot of people are like, oh, you can get 6 stairs. But only 4 out of wood things. What? That's how you get sawdust, my friends. Internal, thank you for gifting a sub. Appreciate that very much. Should we do an episode of just exploring and explain anything I come across like a village? I mean, we're going to do an episode that's specifically about finding villages at some stage. Oh, this is where I need more stripped spruce logs, actually. So we'll come back with those. Didn't leave any in here? No. Sawdust, what about sand? Renewable sand, though. The wandering trader doesn't count. He's a charlatan. I do like my little parrot on the roof. You don't see him very often, but he's up there. Being chill.
Well, that's just prime.
Yeah, sand generator using the end portal sucks, though, in my opinion. Especially on a multiplayer server, because then, like, what else are you going to use that end portal for? Like, I like the option of doing other stuff with the end portal than just turning it into a sand duplicator. Like, vanilla ways of having renewable sand is what I really want. So I worked out a little bit of a design for this sugarcane farm in my creative flat world before I did any of this stuff. So we have a bit of a design that I'm working from here. Started a new world. There's a savannah village visible from spawn. Nice. Very nice. Love to have a nearby village. I expect one of the first places we'll find a village is going to be the savannah. I have a feeling that I'll need to look there. Because it's nice and big and open, and the plains around here don't seem to go on all that far, or if they do, I just haven't found the right ones. But they tend to turn into other things like mountain biomes and stuff. Let's get some spruce slabs. While we're down here, we'll turn some of the planks, oak, into slabs as well. Because we can always replace planks with slabs. You can't replace slabs with planks. So we're going to make this in my favorite little wood gradient pattern that just goes from dark oak to spruce to oak to birch and then back. And that's just going to cover up the interior workings of this. And then we're going to put probably, I want to say either glowstone or shroom lights in the back wall here so that the inside still has some light going on. Because I don't know if sugarcane relies on block light or natural light in order to grow. I feel like you can grow sugarcane in complete darkness, but it is nice to have the interior of the farm lit up. Are jungle biomes in 1.18 more common? They seem to be, as far as I can tell. And it's always a problem of just, like, you have to go searching to find biomes. The biomes aren't just going to be, like, right there all of the time. But I think the heat map way of generating biomes that they've been using in 1.18 seems to have a higher chance of generating jungles as a transition into other warm biomes from, like, I think it's something to do with temperature, but also humidity. So, like, deserts are dry and hot, jungles are hot and humid, and then other humid biomes kind of line up with those, like swamps. You also find the sparse jungle biomes a lot, and everyone's like, jungle edge! And I'm like, that's... Sure, that's what that is. Your last 117 spawn, you spawn right next to the cleric building, like a church in the village? That's so funny. Did you have to immediately repent? I think that's going to work out. Yeah. 3 in the middle. And then 2 more And then spruce. And then, yeah, that works. How do you select the blocks when building? Middle click with the mouse, like click in the scroll wheel. And if you've got any of the block you're looking at in your inventory, it will pop into your hand. In the first available inventory slot that is not occupied by an enchanted tool. It's called pick block, and it is very, very useful for survival building. Alright, then we'll hop down here and we'll fill in a slab like this so it has a bit of an overhang. And we'll do oak slabs and then spruce slabs.
Well, that's just prime.
And now I need to craft more spruce slabs. Used to play Minecraft with a touchpad. I've done that occasionally when I've been like traveling with my laptop and wanted to play Minecraft, but it's a bit of a pain. I play Stardew Valley with a touchpad, and that's a lot easier if you rebind a couple of keys. It has a couple of really good keyboard shortcuts. I do the same with Terraria occasionally, but I haven't played that for years now. Looks like a gradient of ice cream. There you go. Do love a tasty looking roof. And back to these. And then back to spruce slabs. And now I need to find something to pillar up with. We'll do the center of this as well, even though nobody's really going to see it. We could probably connect those two as well if we want to. That's what you heard a didgeridoo in the current song? Yeah. People use interesting instruments for stuff. I'm thinking if we want to, we can expand the sugarcane farm by like 2 modules that way. We can have a 4 module wide farm if we want to. Just don't often hear them is all. Yeah, I mean, they're an underused instrument, but they are pretty cool. Hello, sir, love the podcast. Hey, thank you. Always great to hear from people who've enjoyed the show. So with this, we want to come up the side here with some more dark oak planks. I need to look at my creative flat world for this, because I think maybe we need to extend this one more block, looking at it. Yeah, we do, because it's not centered, is it? Okay. Quick revision of the design. Break this out. Anything that falls into the farm is probably going to get collected by the minecarts. It doesn't matter if 1 or 2 planks despawn. We're farming the stuff. Alright, boop, boop, boop. And those 2 in there. And then this needs to come out by 1 more block, because it needs to overhang the front or the back. One side or the other. See you later, Shan. Have a good one. Why don't I use netherite tools and armor? Because I'm still in the early stages of this world, and it's a tutorial-based world, so I have basically been taking it steady for the newer players who need to be educated on some of the basics of Minecraft before we go straight to, like, OP tools and armor. This world has only been around since 1.18 came out. We've made 20-something episodes so far. But I'm doing episodes about, like, smaller stuff, like we've just built a sugarcane farm. Like an automatic sugarcane farm. Why do people always want a backseat game? I mean, welcome to Twitch. It's just their way. Everyone's got their preferred way of playing the game, and they think it should be everyone else's preferred way of playing the game as well. I honestly really like the pace of this series now. I'm so happy to be taking things slow. I know it's going to be boring for some people, because some people just like to see everyone get OP, and that's probably why you get so bored of watching a series for so long, or you get bored of playing Minecraft, is because once you've just done the progression, there's nothing else left to achieve for some people at that point. For me, it's where the game starts. Spooky, thank you for the Prime sub. The guy unnamed, thank you for the Prime sub as well. Appreciate you both. We got some people coming in with a raid. Well, hello. Good to see you. Sorry if it's not showing up on my Streamlabs. I guess the event list isn't picking it up. But thank you all for the raid. Welcome in. Who was raiding? What were they playing? Know most of this, but still enjoy watching while you work. Oh, there's a raid. Pearl. I see the raid messages I got earlier were a forecast. Pearl, welcome in. Hello, friends. Oh, good to see you, Pearl. How is everything? You playing hardcore right now? How's that going? How's it all going for you? Welcome. Welcome in, folks. Welcome in, friends, to the Survival Guide world. The potato party comes in. Good to see you, folks. Obviously, mods, if we haven't had a shout-out for Pearl already, please spam that one in the chat. Got on a Twitch one today, so it was pretty normal. Fair play. Fair play. Welcome to the Minecraft Survival Guide Season 2 world. This is my lovely little birch forest that we started out in. And today we've been working on getting some redstone stuff, getting some cobblestone, because I've basically wasted all of my cobblestone on redstone components for a farm over here. This is my new sugarcane farm. This is my lovely little starter house. We're up here on a hill, and the 1.18 terrain generation threw me a world that did not have any mountains at spawn, so it's not as impressive as everybody else's 1.18 worlds look. But this is the Minecraft Survival Guide. This is my tutorial series that I made on YouTube like 3.5 years ago now, and it's kind of like the flagship series for my YouTube channel. I do the behind-the-scenes stuff on streams, the resource gathering, all of the, you know, bits and pieces of busy work that go into making some of these episodes. And right now we're in the stages of the world where we're just getting started. We're taking it very steady, and it's a tutorial series, especially for people who are newer to the game. So, sugarcane farms have only just come up, and it's episode 22. But yeah, I'm starting on stuff like, you know, here's how to farm stuff in rows so the plants grow a little bit faster, and being able to use your fortune pickaxe to get more carrots if you want more carrots, that kind of stuff. There's little tips and tricks here and there that people are picking up, even if they are veterans of Minecraft who've been playing for a little while. So it's kind of nice to be able to deliver that for people who are having some fun playing Minecraft in 2022. Thank you once again for the raid, Pearl. I totally understand if you have to raid and dip. Totally fine. Take care of yourself. Grab some food. Stretch. Get some rest. Whatever you need to do. Thank you for bringing the community over. And for the folks who are new here, I stream Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. If you're interested in catching a stream anytime, usually around 3 p.m. UK time. So I go live a little bit after Pearl did today. Off to go and chill now. No worries, Pearl. Enjoy yourself. Have a good day or night or whatever time it is in Australia. Hope you have a good one. Lovely to see you, and thank you again for sending the folks over. So yeah, right now I'm just adjusting a little bit of the roof on my sugarcane farm. And I think if we hop down to the basement... Did I pick up any shroom lights when we were last in the nether? Or not? I did not, but we have 2 glowstones, so I might use glowstone for this for now instead. I'm going to put one of them there, apparently. Give me that back. Put that there. All right. Yeah, we're going to be just adding a little bit of lighting to the interior of this farm, just in case covering it over with a roof has removed the light that the sugarcane needs to grow, but I don't know if sugarcane needs light to grow or no. There's glass in there anyway, so there should be enough room to let light through if it needs it. But yeah, this can actually come out one more block, as can this. And we're going to do a similar design on this side than we did on the front half. Pearl is streaming at 4 a.m. What a mad lad. I know, Pearl is a machine. She's she's different from other people. she's got her YouTube and Twitch grind on in a way that very few other people have. And it's been incredible to see her getting so much more appreciation and success and everything, joining the Hermitcraft crew and everything. This has definitely been Pearl's year, and long may it continue. One Cat Short of Crazy, thank you so much for the tier 1 sub, a brand new sub to the channel. Enjoy your emotes and your sub badge. Welcome to the Pixels. And Lilu, thank you for the 8 months as well. Good to see you, Lilu. Hope you're well. How long do I plan on streaming? Today we'll probably be live for another hour or so, I think. Normally I stream about 3 until 6, depending on how things are going. And Pride Ceratops is in the house as well. Good to see you. Welcome in. Let's grab some scaffolding. I've been building without scaffolding this whole time, and it feels wrong to me. Got a little bit of it stored up in here. I haven't done an episode about how to use scaffolding yet, but I consider myself a reasonably good user of scaffolding. So hopefully that will work out for me. I need to grab some spruce logs so we can put stripped spruce into the back of this thing as well. So let's grab a few more of those. We won't need that many. Triceratops gifting a sub, and Cold Dawn gifting a sub as well. Thank you so much for being so generous to the community. Scaffolding is just cheap ladder. I mean, it's better ladder, to be honest. Ladder can't go sideways. Scaffolding goes sideways. A friend who is a noob, and I gave him a link to your survival guide, and he's loving it. Awesome stuff. Very happy to be teaching the noobs the ins and outs of this wonderful game. Boop, boop, boop. And I think we're probably going to create like a little roof ridge in this, maybe. Just to give it a little bit of variety, you know. Kind of like a carry handle. That's what I'm thinking of this. This is like a sugarcane farm that you can pick up like a briefcase and carry it around with you. That's how I feel about it anyway. There we go. Love the little gradients. Yeah, that's my favorite wood pattern. If I never know what to do with a roof or a ceiling inside of a build, I always end up going dark oak, spruce, oak, birch. It just looks so nice. Unfortunately, you can't really fit the jungle wood or acacia into this because they're a different kind of color temperature. But I'm really looking forward to mangrove wood being added because in the early pictures of that, it looks like it's going to pair really well with the like warmer wood colors. I think a lot of people are not sure what mangrove is really for in terms of like the color palette that we've already got to work with in Minecraft. I think it's for pairing with jungle and birch in that. Not jungle, not birch, sorry, acacia. Pale green azalea wood. I would love there to be a green wood type in Minecraft. Kind of like what BOO ended up doing with the jungle woods in which season of Hermitcraft was that? I've done this side weird. There was a Hermitcraft season, I think it was season 5? Yeah, there was season 5 when he was retexturing jungle wood so it looked kind of green. Which might have been a building with B-dubs texture around that time, but yeah, he definitely did some cool stuff with that. I'm looking at my version of this in like that I have a screenshot of behind the scenes here, and I'm like, did I build this weird? I don't think I have now. I ended up putting a different block on the end here. Like, I put an andesite block on there. Because on this side it has an observer, but there's no point putting an observer here. Even for symmetry, it has no purpose. So this can go up here like that, actually. And this is where the stripped spruce goes. So yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense, actually. I am building this right. For a moment there, I wasn't. But now I am. So it's okay. Literally made an automatic sugarcane farm in 118 world and my video comes up after half an hour. Yeah, it happens. A few people have said, like, your spider farm video came out right after I tried to build a spider farm, that kind of thing. Minecraft moves at different paces for different people. Just don't build a cobblestone farm before tomorrow, okay? Let me handle that. I got you covered. Sugarcane farm just will not produce very fast. What are we going to do instead of the... We need to take this down for a start. What are we going to do for barrels on the other side? Because I don't want to have barrels on there if we're not going to see them. Because it's just going to be on the back half of this build. Maybe we'll just do stripped spruce all the way to the ground. But I feel like that's going to look odd. Like up the side here. I mean, it's going to look especially odd because this side is out on a ridge, but we can cover over that. We can terraform that. Spruce trapdoor? Maybe, but I think there's... Is there redstone stuff under this? Probably not. It's probably not going to interfere with it. Cross my fingers. I'm kind of building this in reverse order to how I did the original one, which is why I'm confusing myself. Building it from the top down instead of from the ground up, you know? When do I think we'll start seeing snapshots from the wild update? I mean, we've already seen frogs and the skulk block stuff in the Bedrock Edition betas before Christmas. So, I mean, who knows? Snapshots for Java, though? Probably a few weeks into the year. Like, I'd say wait until February at the earliest. True Antisocial Gaming says, hey, how's it going, everyone? I feel like you've mismatched with your username there, but welcome in. It's going very well. Hope you're doing well, too. The new wood is on Bedrock already, didn't know? The mangrove wood? Nice to watch you building the hard way. Built your mob farm from a hardcore survival guide this week, but without the ability to fly. Yeah, the Elytra does kind of lull you into this sense of luxury when you're building stuff like this. I guess we put these in here, right? Yeah. I don't think we've done that on this side, right? Have we? Maybe we have. Had this username since I was 10, so I'm sticking to it. 10, gosh. 10 is an interesting age to be deciding you're antisocial. I feel like at 10, antisocial is something that your parents call you when you don't come down for dinner at the right time. Or if you don't want to hang out with your family at Christmas. I don't know what we're going to do in the center here. I never really figured that out in the creative version of this build. Maybe we'll kind of wrap it around like this. Potentially. We can't really do much with it over here because it's got the redstone mechanism in it, but... that way it feels like it's protected somehow. We could put some glass in there or something. I don't know. Not essential. Not necessary. We're never going to see the top of it unless we start flying over it later. Right. This can be dark oak wood all the way to the top. And we want one dark oak slab there. Same here. And maybe we'll round this off at the back. But then obviously that's going to be mismatched heights, so we'll just have it going into the ground, whatever. Do we end up supporting it all the way down to the ground? Do we end up terraforming this so it's covered? I think maybe we do something like this. So we have 2 more spruce logs here. Kind of like that. So it still looks like it's supported, it's just kind of coming down at an angle, and then maybe we can do some stuff in front of this. Maybe we grow a tree there so it doesn't matter, you know? Is finding a raw iron block a clue for something or just luck? That is a raw iron, that's a huge iron vein, is what you found. So if it's surrounded by tuff, and there's some iron ore nearby, dig up the iron ore, and then dig out the tuff surrounding it. If you find some more iron ore, dig out that. If you find some tuff behind that, dig that out, you'll find more iron ore, and you can just keep going and you'll find a ton of it. And then you'll be good for iron for the next, like, 5 years. Do I prefer shroom lights or glowstone? It depends on the color palette, depends on the other blocks that are getting paired with it, really. Because I think they both look good. Shroom lights are warmer. Glowstone is obviously colder, but I think it can look better with some of the gold stuff. I tell you, my favorite use of shroom lights that I ever came up with was for like a slow-moving, like volcanic eruption back in Season 1 of Survival Guide, where we had the mountain outside of Founder's Forge basically erupting, and magma and shroom lights mixed together were coming down the side of the mountain. It looked really good. I was very happy with that. Are there large gold veins? No, just copper and iron. Copper and iron are the only ones that have them. But then you find gold more frequently in Badlands biomes, so you can go there if you're looking for more gold. That's kind of the trade-off. It's like biome-specific stuff, and then it's, you know, more global stuff. I need to... There we go. Now it's updated with the new roof. Andesite is what I'm looking for at this point, because I wanted to have 2 blocks of andesite in the corners, and I've been waiting until I had a little bit more andesite before I do that. And then this should be looking pretty much as it does in my creative world. What was I the most disappointed with in 118? The spawn for my survival world. I really wanted to spawn next to a mountain just by sheer dumb random seed luck, and it didn't happen. But that's fine, because then we can go looking for mountains elsewhere. I generated in some really spectacular looking worlds where there were mountains right by spawn, and I was like, I've got to have one of these for the survival guide. Nope. Didn't work out that way. You're a Simovicki with the 2 months. Thank you so much for the 2 months of support. Badlands biome and Mesa biome the same. So Mesa is a subdivision of Badlands. Badlands are basically any, like, desert biome with red sand and stuff like that, but a Mesa is specifically the biomes that have, like, the plateau. Like, Mesa is Spanish for table, so in terms of real-world geography, it's called a mesa if it has, like, a large plateau. But then the stuff around it is more generally termed Badlands. Look this up on Wikipedia. It's a really good read if you're interested in geography and so forth. We're getting bundles in the wild update? No, bundles and archaeology have basically been delayed until further notice, which is disappointing to me, because bundles are functionally fine on Java Edition. I think Bedrock is the hold-up there. Could have just scouted out a seed. I get why you wanted to keep it pure. Yeah, I mostly just don't want people to be like, well, you clearly looked up the seed number beforehand and you know where everything is and you've been looking for diamonds and stuff. You know, the petty stuff that kids think that you've looked up in the first place. And while I don't always care about that kind of stuff, I just get tired of responding to comments about it. Not to be too cynical about my audience, of course, because there are some very lovely people out there who understand that some of that stuff even ends up being part of video production when it comes to longer-term series, like, you know, having a copy of the world can be incredibly useful for looking up certain things, but it's not something I'm interested in doing with Survival Guide, and so far that is probably why I haven't found anything more interesting than a birch forest. What is archaeology update? There isn't an archaeology update. Archaeology is a feature which was planned initially for the Caves and Cliffs update and was announced at Minecraft Live when the Caves and Cliffs update was first announced. And then since then they've decided to hold back those features until they can retool them into something that works for, you know, their vision for Minecraft, because it was a cool idea and player reaction to it at the time was mixed, because they weren't quite sure what function it had, and so since then we've had a little bit of back and forth about it from the developers, and when the Caves and Cliffs update was split, they basically said, we're shelving archaeology because we want to turn it into a bigger system for an update further down the line, but we don't know what that looks like yet. Very good, Seth, very good. Has anyone had issues with entities disappearing from your world? Basically, everybody who plays Bedrock is potentially having issues with that right now. It's not a problem on Java Edition, but Bedrock Edition has issues with that, and boats disappearing when you get out of them and that kind of thing. It's unfortunate, but that seems to be the case with Bedrock Edition at present. I think what we might do here is open this out so it's like that. And see, in my creative world, this is an observer rotation thing, I think. Because in my creative copy of this, I think I built it facing a certain way, and the observer, like, triangle texture is there, and it looks really good. And now it's not. So that doesn't look as good as I hoped it would. So I might put like a trapdoor on it or something instead. But again, using a trapdoor there is going to mean it activates when the redstone activates, so that's also not ideal. Also, saturation is broken on Bedrock. Saturation just isn't a thing and hasn't been for a while on Bedrock Edition. But then Bedrock Edition never updated combat, so saturation never really needed to operate on the same level as it does on Java. Or maybe it needed to, but they just didn't establish it the same way. Kind of nice to see game devs put off features that need more time and thought instead of putting out half-baked stuff. You'll still get people accusing Mojang of doing half-baked whatever it is. You know, like there are still people out there who are incredibly cynical about Minecraft's development, and I hope the team has a fun time ignoring those people, because I think they're doing a great job. Am I going to do an episode on cosmetic mods like Optifine or the fabric mods that exist now? Oh good, it's raining. First time it's properly rained when I've been on the surface. I will probably do an episode or two, yeah, about Optifine and resource packs and stuff like that. I don't know what I'm going to bundle in together with what, because I feel like Optifine could be an episode all of its own, but I do think it kind of goes hand in hand with what resource packs are capable of. And then I need to do more research on how the performance mods work. The ones like, you know, what is it called? Brain not working. Sodium. Like all the Caffeine MC mods. And like phosphor and lithium and all of those, right? Like I need to do something with those if I'm going to cover Optifine, because the Optifine episode is inevitably going to be covered with people being like, but sodium though. So I'll need to cover them around the same time. Why don't I keep the hopper cart moving all the time rather than doing a delay? Because it's less noisy. And also, if you unload a chunk, it might not be a problem here because I think we're still in the spawn chunks, but if you unload the chunks where a hopper cart is moving, it can lose all its momentum. So it basically stops minecarts getting stuck on chunk borders if you don't have them moving constantly. At least it's much less likely, because then if you leave the chunks, the minecarts are usually like here at rest. That one is, it's just didn't look like it was because it wasn't poking through the texture. Something doesn't Z-bash in Minecraft, and I immediately assume there's a problem. Forge versus Fabric seems like a huge topic in itself, but then you're getting into modded stuff as well, and that's the other thing about Optifine and Fabric and all of those, like, performance optimizations and stuff like that. It all has to step into the realm of, like, well, now we're looking at modded Minecraft, really. And I've never had a problem with using Optifine and stuff before, and I've used Fabric for the replay mod on many occasions. But sooner or later it becomes about, like, do we want to think about the series that way? Like, how do we introduce stuff like that and go, yeah, this is just what the series is going to be for the foreseeable future? Respect of the red bed? Yeah, I like having a red bed. It feels like some of the first time I used to play Minecraft. I'm going to take a very short break just to run to the bathroom and stuff. Bear with me, folks. Thank you so much for sticking around after the raid. I really appreciate it. I'll be right back. Hello! Oh, we're back. Joke's on you if I thought I was going to get blown up by a creeper. I paused the game and I'm in my house. I should probably have just left it running because then we could sleep away the rain. Alright, last half hour of the stream. What are we going to do? Don't say Minecraft bingo. I'm not doing Minecraft bingo today. What can we chop? We could go back to the caves and get a bit more cobblestone. We could fish. Fishing is good for the rain, actually. That's probably not a bad idea. Might get me to 30 levels, too. Nebula suggested fishing. Let's go fishing. We get a mending book. Imagine my delight and surprise. Get Nylium and farm netherwood. I still need to explain that Silk Touch is good for more than just ore blocks. So I think we're going to do an episode about netherwood on its own. Fishing in the rain helps increase good drops. It's not good drops, it's catch rates. Fishing in the rain increases or decreases the wait time by about 20%, I think. So along with lure and luck of the sea and everything else, you're catching stuff much more frequently and hopefully better. Brand new to the community, could you ask a question about how to master landscaping? Gosh, that's a big question for somebody who's new to the community, but I mean, what do you want to know? I think the main thing with anything building, whether it's landscapes, whether it's houses, whether it's, you know, whatever you're planning on building, reference material helps enormously. Just having a Google image search open on a, you know, a second screen, a laptop, a phone, whatever, is going to be incredibly helpful. Print stuff off or get reference books out of the library or whatever if you need to, but I think that's usually a good place to start if you're after more general advice. Do I have a video about landscaping? I have a lot of videos about maybe specific aspects of landscaping, but never one thing that's like, here's how to landscape in Minecraft. It's a big topic. But yeah, I second the recommendation for Fwip's channel on YouTube. The guy does incredible work and is a very, very talented landscaper. And builder of all kinds, really. What's my favorite part of Minecraft? I've always thought of myself as a builder. Like, ever since maybe Decidedly Vanilla Season 1. About halfway through, I make an episode where I'm just rambling while building something, and I'm like, I think I identify myself as a builder. And I think that's always just been my sort of classification. But lately, I think of myself much more as a jack of all trades in this game now. On account of having done the survival guide for long enough that I'm now a lot more technically able than I used to be. I can design a few of my own redstone farms and they don't immediately break. I have a bit more of a head for that kind of stuff now. So I think, if anything, I'm just a good all-rounder. The problem with being a jack of all trades, though, is you don't get to master any one particular thing, so we'll see how that works out for me. What's the best mob farm in Minecraft? Like, overall... Oh, got a extra fishing rod out of that. Luck of the Sea too, nice. Overall, is it Nembon's design, the one that's got 4 different sets of diamond-shaped platforms? Kills everything with campfires or lava blades to get all of the mob drops and stuff. When it comes to XP, probably a zombie pigman farm, because zombie pigmen and endermen give the same amount of XP, but endermen drop it all as like a little experience orbs, and zombie pigmen drop big ones. Master builders usually die in survival. You have to be a jack of all trades in survival. I mean, true, yeah. Yeah, Nembon's flushing farm is probably the best thing if you just want drops. But yeah, at Enderman farms you find yourself killing Enderman pretty much constantly, but you can't gather the XP fast enough. I've done a side-by-side comparison of using Nembon's Ender and the Snow Crash Ilmango Donut Gold Farm, and you genuinely get more XP faster from the gold farm, even though you're killing mobs pretty much constantly at both. What happens if you gift more subs than there are viewers? Twitch keeps basically like a loose record of who has watched which channel recently, and so if there are more gifted subs than there are viewers on a channel, then Twitch will just award gifted subs to people who visited the channel before but aren't necessarily in chat right now. I believe that's how it works. And you can AFK at the gold farm. You can AFK at an Enderman farm too with, you know, a script that's automatically clicking for you and stuff. That's a good enchanted bow, by the way. That's pretty good. Might actually keep that in a separate barrel than all of the junk ones. Got gift subs from channels I didn't know I was ever in. Yeah, I've got a gift sub, just randomly, not even related to it, from a channel that I've raided maybe once or twice before. Like, I'll randomly get gifted a sub to, you know, somebody from 8-bit community or something, like some people I've raided just on the off chance when they were live. Crossbow or bow? Bow for right now, but ask me again when they update combat and crossbows change so that multi-shot can hit with all 3 arrows, because that's going to be a game changer for combat in Java. That's the way it works in Bedrock Edition right now, but on Java, basically once you get hit with an arrow, you have iframes from getting hit by other arrows. So like there is a brief period of invulnerability where you can't be hit by another projectile, and the unified combat update that might be coming soon for Java and Bedrock Edition is going to remove that from Java. So basically, yeah, the crossbow at that point becomes a shotgun, and if you have arrows of instant harming and a crossbow with multi-shot, you can take down like a Ravager in one hit, more or less. I mean, technically 3 hits, but who's counting? Do I think Java is better or worse than Bedrock? I think they're equal in different ways. Does that make sense? I think Bedrock obviously has its advantages. Java is just what I'm most familiar with. I don't see any point in comparing the two as being better or worse. But yeah, we have no idea when that combat update is going to happen or what shape it's going to take when it does, but Jeb was testing a combat update before they announced Caves and Cliffs. There were just like occasional experimental snapshots going out to the Reddit community. So I've tried a couple of them out, but it was never really like my priority in this game, so I'm just going to let it happen when it happens. If it even still happens, like, who knows? They must have a long-term plan for both versions of Minecraft at this stage, but we don't know what it is. Axe with a crossbow in the offhand can make an absolutely killer combo if you time it right. Yeah, I'm sure. Mending fishing rod? Yes. Fishing rod has everything on it. It's all maxed out. Unbreaking 3, Luck of the Sea, Lure, and Mending. What's my favorite update so far? I always like to say this one because it's got all of the stuff that the previous updates had. But then I tend to give my more serious answer, which is the updates that got me convinced that Minecraft was a game that I'd be playing forever were 1.9 when they added Elytra, even though Elytra wasn't used for as much until they added firework boosting in 1.11. But then I think 1.13 was also like one of the bigger updates for just like, oh yeah, no, this game is going to be just fine. Like it's not going to feel like it gets dated because they're refreshing stuff like ocean biomes, live fish and seagrass. Like we're looking at the effects of it right now, basically. Loyalty 3 powerful. Okay. Yeah, like the after effects of the update Aquatic are still felt all around us, and I think 1.18 is going to be one of those new updates that, because the terrain has changed so much, it brings people back into Minecraft. They're like, what? There are these wild caves now? And people tend to gravitate to the stuff that really feels pivotal in the game's history. Picked up the game about the same time 1.13 was coming out. The game's only gotten better in the years since. It's funny because everyone always finds things to complain about, though. But, yeah, I started playing on PC around 1.8. I was playing on console before that, and this was the Xbox 360 edition, so it felt like I was playing Minecraft 1.3. because it was already several versions behind the Java edition at the time. And Bedrock Edition didn't even exist at that stage. It was all split up into different versions. Pocket Edition didn't even have the Nether when I started playing Minecraft. Like, there's so many things have changed. But, yeah, 1.8 was a big update for a lot of people. 1.7 was the update that changed the world, which is the one that terrain generation started changing, and mesa biomes became a thing for the first time, back when they were even called mesa biomes. Like, they just introduced stuff like stained clay. And so, yeah, I've considered myself, like, around that sort of time, for the first, like, 2 or 3 years I played Minecraft, I was like, I'm still really new to this compared to some people who've been playing for ages. And now I see so many people saying that they started playing around the time of 1.12, 1.13. I think even Joel is like that. Joel started playing, like, maybe a couple of versions before we started doing the podcast, which was around, like, 1.11. But, yeah, I played in the update before the combat update, so I remember spam clicking on Java. Which I know a lot of people will have had as part of the game for a lot longer than me. There are people who've been playing this game for 11 years. Coming up on 12 soon. Started on classic Minecraft? Nice. That's some old school stuff. Back when it was a browser game. Started before Elytra. Does that make you old? I started before Elytra. I don't know. I feel pretty old. But then there are some people who start playing Minecraft when they're 4, so that's not really an indication. Been playing on and off for a decade, yeah. That's the cool thing about this game, though. You come back to it, there's new stuff, but it still feels like a lot of the same systems are there. Sunk too many early mornings before school on browser Minecraft. I used to read the Minecraft wiki on the bus to work when I first started playing. And that was on the Xbox as well. A lot of fishing, not a whole lot else. Which I'm fine with. Well, know somebody's world who has it since before 1.0. There's a few people out there. I think Etho's world has been going for a really long time. He doesn't make his Let's Play episodes often, but he will sneak one in occasionally, and it's like, wow, this world has been around for a long, long time. No mending yet? No, no mending yet. Except on the fishing rod. And I have a couple of bows, but I prefer infinity, so... Hey, Captain Owl, I'm doing well. Having a nice chill stream now. We've done a bunch of caving. We gathered some redstone and some cobblestone for making observers and other bits and pieces. Because I am finding... I discussed this in tomorrow's episode, which is going to go out on time. I just need to finish editing it. Tomorrow's episode is about cobblestone generators, and I'm like, why do I need a cobblestone generator in the first place? Well, frankly, I've been doing all my mining at deep slate level, and now I don't have as much cobblestone as I would have in a different world. Like, in a world pre-1.18, I feel like I would have had a lot more cobblestone with the amount of mining we've been doing, but I just have deep slate. It's really weird. But then cobblestone has to be used to make redstone ingredients, like redstone crafting recipes need cobblestone. You can't make them out of deep slate. I presume you can't make them out of blackstone either. I should have tested that. But yeah, you can't make a piston, an observer, a dropper, a dispenser. Those kind of things. You can't make them with deep slate. You can make things like furnaces, stone tools, but you can't make pistons. Like, I demonstrate this in the video. Today's video, I think. There's a horse outside my window. Deep slate does look good in builds, yeah. You... Danny, thank you so much for that tier 1 sub. Brand new sub to the channel. Enjoy your emotes and your sub badge. Welcome to the Pixels. Built your first mushroom farm today? Nice, very nice. The natural growth, like spreading them in darkness kind of mushroom farms are going to be so much safer now. Now that you can mob-proof an area with, like, light sources below 7. Learned so much from watching YouTube content of Minecraft. Hey, thank you. I'm glad that you're learning.
Well, that's just prime.
Rob42 with a brand new Prime sub as well. Thank you so much. Really appreciate the Prime sub. Yeah, mushrooms grow under light level, I think, like 11 or so. But, yeah, they just need to be in a dim enough room. So you could light it up before, but you had to be a lot more particular about where the light sources were and what they were. Brown mushrooms spawn proof anyway because they have level 1 light. Yeah, but I mean, you have to allow them room to grow, right? They're only spawn proofing the block that they're on. And I don't think mobs would spawn there anyway unless it was like string where it doesn't technically block mob spawns. When am I going to start villager trading in this world? That's going to be the... Oh, good bow to combine with the other bow we got. That's actually a killer combo. That's better than the bow I have now. We're doing redstone contraptions and stuff this week. I took a poll both on YouTube and on Twitter, and people seem to want resource farms and stuff before they wanted villages. So we're doing like basic farms this week, and we're doing villages next week. I still haven't found a village in this world, so we need to go and look for one. The closest contact I've had with villagers has been the Wandering Trader, and when pillagers arrive. Elementalist with another Prime sub. Thank you, the back-to-back Prime subs. You love to see it. Thank you so much for subscribing with that one and only Twitch Prime. Really excited for villagers. I love working with them. I like them too. I know a lot of people find villagers very unpredictable and stuff. I think they've gotten better. Since 1.14, they've definitely gotten better. Enderman farm or zombie piglin farm? Zombie piglin farm all day. I barely use ender pearls, and that's something I'll probably end up doing more of, obviously much later in the series, but the drops from zombie piglin are so much more useful. Like, gold basically turns into a ton of other stuff, not just with crafting recipes, but with bartering as well. So the drops are way more useful. And zombie piglins actually get you more XP than endermen. If you're killing a bunch of them all at once, you get XP faster from a zombie piglin farm. Happy Cat, thank you for gifting a sub to Herbal Rune Tea. Sounds delicious. Do I design my builds in creative first or just build them in the survival world? Bit of both. Lately I've been trying to plan them in creative first because it's a better use of my time. Trying to build stuff like this from scratch isn't something that always comes naturally to me. I can do all right, but if I really want something to look well put together, it saves me a lot of time to plan it in creative first. And that way I can kind of adapt it to fit the survival world, add a few of my own touches in survival once the build's in place and I know what it's missing. But for the most part, starting stuff in creative really helps get the juices flowing, you know? Do I ever play any other survival games besides Minecraft? No, not really. I played Pixark for a while. Do you guys ever play Pixark? There's a full series of it back on my channel. I say a full series. The game didn't really have like an end game. But Pixark was basically like Ark Survival Evolved meets Minecraft. It was a kind of spin-off game that was made by the people who made a really popular Ark mod from back in the day. And that was the only other game like this I've played. And here's the reason why. Because I feel like... I'll thank people for the subs in a second. I feel like the problem with a lot of survival games is that they're attempting to do stuff with real-world physics, but the simulation can't be realistic enough because of the limits of, like, modern gaming equipment, right? So, like... The thing that always breaks my immersion immediately with any of those things is when you've got, like, your early game tools. You've got, say, like, a pickaxe, and you're swinging this pickaxe at the rock to get stone.
Well,
and in, like, Ark Survival
just
Evolved, which is a very realistic-looking game, it's got all of these fantastic dinosaur models and stuff, and if you take into account, like, character creation and stuff, it gets a bit more wacky. But a lot of that looks graphically more photorealistic, maybe in a slightly stylized way, but then you swing your pickaxe at this rock for long enough, the rock model does not change at all. You're gathering stone, stone, stone. You get so many resources out of this one rock, and then after a while the rock just disappears. And that's my problem with it. Like, it breaks my immersion because the rock itself should be chipping off, and you should be gathering up stuff like that, and eventually the rock kind of wears down to a stub and there's no rock anymore. That's, like, much more realistic, but you can't do that because that would be the entire game. It would take so much effort just to make the physics that realistic. And so the thing I love about Minecraft is that what you see is what you get. You see a block, you pick it up, it's in block form, you put it back down, it's a block. Like, the stylized nature of Minecraft immediately means that you suspend your disbelief and you just start working with Minecraft's physics as they're presented to you, instead of trying to assume that everything around you works like the real world and being disappointed by the lack of accuracy in the simulation. Like, that's the problem that I have with other survival games. And so often they're trying to simulate this kind of realistic thing. 7 Days to Die is another one that's kind of weird because, like, the building in that is all blocky like Minecraft, but the world around you is trying to be more natural looking. And so when you're building stuff out of squares, it clips into the terrain kind of awkwardly, and you always end up with weird-looking stuff in games like that. I don't quite get it, but that's why Pixark was sort of on my level, because, again, it's using, like, the blocky states of stuff in Minecraft to represent dinosaurs and fun stuff like that, and it's naturally more cartoony and stylized the whole time. So anyway, let me catch up with some notifications here. Square Moon, thank you for the 3 months of Tier 1. Smarty Helen gifting a sub, thank you so much. Trek 2002 with the Prime sub, and Little Red YT with the Prime sub as well. Rosters, thank you for the 100 bits. 30 seconds left on the hype train if anyone wants to get some cheers, subs, or anything else in. No pressure, of course. Fairy Tale Facade with the 100 bits, thank you very much. The mods that try and make Minecraft more realistic are also unsettling. Yeah, there's some uncanny valley stuff that happens whenever you try and simulate realism with the technology we have right now, even though it's obviously... it's vastly improved over the span of, like, the last decade, and even more so than on the decade before that, and so forth. But I do think... Lilu, thank you for the 1,000 bits, and a Ruffle Monster with the Prime sub. Unfortunately, too late for the hype train, but thank you very much for all the support. Really appreciate it. Yeah, like
that's just prime.
The uncanny valley is kind of weird, but when a game takes a more, like, bold approach with its art direction, when it takes a more stylized approach, I feel like I like games like that more. It's why I was so into, like, pixel art kind of style games, and especially when I started my channel, I was thinking I would end up playing more of them. But stuff like, you know, Stardew Valley, for example, like, that's a game that will keep me occupied for hours, and it doesn't have to do fancy graphics to do it. Like, the art style of that game is so great. The Matrix video game trailer gives me Uncanny Valley. I haven't seen the more recent Matrix video game. We watched the original Matrix movie the other day, like the first one, and man, that's a good film. Like, it's solid. It's campy and hilarious, but it's a good film. Just the stuff they're doing in that. Wachowskis are so talented. Don't Starve has great art. Yeah, like, all of the hand-drawn looking stuff. Again, like, it's so cool. And nothing against people who want to make a game that has more realistic graphics, but I think you've got to draw the line somewhere. You've got to find something that feels stylized and doesn't try and sell it as realism, because you're always going to come up short. Oh. Alright, I'll go to bed in the fishing shack then. Happy? Have I seen the new Matrix? No, I haven't. I have not. I would like to at some stage. Weird how in the late 90s we had terrible graphics we loved, didn't notice how bad they were, and then the mid-noughts they got a bit better, but it seemed worse because they triggered the Uncanny Valley feels. That's the thing. It's so funny to me looking at how, at the time, Final Fantasy VII, when it came out for the PlayStation, had these kind of like Popeye arm characters that you walk around on the world map, and then when they get into battle, the character models get a little bit more realistic. And then Final Fantasy VIII was always praised for having more realistic character models and stuff like that. And you look at it now and you're like, what was this? A lot of it was obviously made for a different type of visual experience as well, because it was made back in the day when everyone had CRT screens and standard def resolution for all of that stuff. Like it was a different era of technology. Now everything needs to be crisp and clean and 4K, and none of that stuff is going to hold up. Head Start, the whole purpose of this series for me is to show people the vanilla experience and stick with the defaults pretty much across the board. And we're taking things slow in the series as well. I saw a question earlier about why I don't have a light tray yet and netherite stuff and that kind of thing. This is a step-by-step tutorial series I'm making for YouTube, and Twitch is just like the behind-the-scenes stuff for, you know, gathering resources, getting XP, that kind of thing. So, yeah, right now I'm not focusing on making progress through the game. I'm focusing on what I'm going to teach next when it comes to building the next set of farms or houses or going caving or whatever. Like, it's a lot slower than your average Minecraft Let's Play, and that's for a very specific reason. Any detailing tips for building houses? Yes, absolutely. Houses have plants in, and that's difficult to remember a lot of the time when your choices of plants are like a flower pot or a cubic meter of leaves. But like building a house like this fishing shack, if you're looking at the interiors, I try and put like a plant in a pot in basically every room, because people like to have some greenery around, like a few signs of life. And like there's even a plant up here in the storage area that you can kind of see if you look at it from a certain angle outside there. It just kind of reminds you that people appreciate nature and there's a little bit more life involved around it. And that, and when you're looking at the outside, like having bushes growing up against the side of a house is always a great detail, because it helps the area feel a little bit more natural and lived in. Alright, that guy's gone. But yeah, up here, like, we've got houses, we've got, like, window boxes kind of outside and little planters and stuff like that. But you go inside the house, and over here we've got, like, a little azalea in a pot on the table. And these are great for interior detail. Dividing up rooms with stuff like this as well allows it to feel, like, a little bit more cozy, even if it's slightly off for player scale. Like, this is a 3 meter by 3 meter room. It doesn't really feel very big for like a living space, but the house from the outside looks quite large, because player scale in Minecraft is kind of weird, and so you've just got to deal with the fact that your walls are a meter thick and the interior of the house is going to look a lot smaller than the exterior does. It's kind of the reverse TARDIS effect that you get in Minecraft. Anyway, that's where we're going to leave it for today. I've rambled for long enough. We've done our 3 hours here on Twitch. We're going to go and raid somebody else who's streaming. I'm going to go and grab a bite to eat, and we're going to check in with you guys again on Thursday, when we'll probably be doing a little bit of behind-the-scenes work on the I wish I had a skeleton farm, cave spider farm that's in the abandoned mineshaft. So we're going to be raiding, let's see, who are we going to raid today? I tell you what, let's raid Foxy. We haven't raided Foxy for ages. And it looks like he's just getting started on the Truly Bedrock server, where they've just started their Season 4. Foxy No Tail is a lovely dude, very, very talented when it comes to Bedrock stuff, especially coding add-ons and stuff, but he's a well-known, potentially well-respected member of the Bedrock community. So go over and say hi. And drop a follow while you're there. Let him know I sent you. Use your Pixel Hype emotes and the hashtag PixelRaid. And yeah, we'll be back here on Thursday. So if you had to dip early, then come on back on Thursday and we'll say hi to you then. All right, folks, that's going to be it from me. My name's been Pixel Riffs. Catch you on Thursday. See you soon. Bye for now.